represent for the cause.
Alright, hands on down. How many years been doing it?
I've been in the game since 1994. I started off with a label called Bobo Joe Records, one who had pioneered with some of your legends like Mia X, Cheeky Black. Just like I was telling you, I produced a lot of records for a lot of artists in New Orleans like Josephine, Johnny, Hot Boy Ronald, Chopper Style, and also to the H, you know, so we just keeping this thing alive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Darryl Scott, been in the industry since 1975. Representing the entire city. Was able to start a whole bunch of things up in the music industry. Helped out a lot of groups that came through town. I broke a lot of groups also by mixtapes. People know me, have been knowing me forever for Blast Records and tapes that went on for 30 years. Also got the KTSU Kids Jam thing started. That was my idea to get that started, where I brought in Lester Serpace, brought in Walter D. I put Walter D. Jones on his first set of turntables. Got it started there. Helped out with a lot of production of Big Mello. Y'all may have heard of Big Mello. Did a lot of things with him. Did a lot of vocals. Put most of his albums together, was put together starting in my bedroom, and then put out as long as a gang of everybody that was in Hiram Clark that came along, that came through the doors of Blast Records and tapes. Anybody that came through the city that was in the industry. I'm talking about Prince. The only person that didn't show up at my shop was Michael Jackson, but Janet did. And I'm talking about Biggie, Tupac, everybody that came through the city came through and visited the shop because a lot of them gave homage and as in me recognizing them and putting them on the mixes and doing a lot of things and playing a lot of music that would have never been heard on the radio. 97.9, all 102 started with Blast Records and tapes. Anybody?
What's going on, y'all? My name is LAMAR LUBIN. I owe a lot to Houston. I come from a group called DRS, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I don't know if y'all remember Gangsta. This is for my homies. I am number one, my God. And I did also Jason's lyric. So, you know, I sang on that song that goes, ain't no love in the heart of the city. That's me. And I sang on You Won't Know. So I ain't gonna lie, I owe Houston a lot because everything that I've ever done, my family comes from 30 years old. So everything I've ever done has basically come out of Houston. And I thank y'all because y'all made me famous. Y'all gave me $5 million on Gangsta League alone. To give you a little history, I've been in the music business now for years. I'm still young. But what can I say? But I've I was on Capitol Records. I worked with MC Hammer. Y'all know I did my Punks and Bumps. I did It's All Good. That's me in the background. I've done a lot of stuff in the industry. I live in Los Angeles, but Houston's my second home. Some of y'all know I do Southern Soul now, so I got a new song that y'all making really big called Just Like That, and I'll perform that later on today. So just want to say thank you, Clemmie. Clemmie having me out here. Give it up for her. This is beautiful. It's amazing right here. It's amazing. Just thank you for bringing me out here. I just can't wait to meet some of the new artists and talk to some of the people that are in the business and talk to you guys about the business. Peace.
It is an amazing event, and shout out to Dr. Clemmie for putting this thing together. And I'm one of the original members of the Fifth Ward Boys, and I came out with that. Yes, sir. So when Jay gave me the opportunity, he said he liked my voice. He asked me did I write music, and I told him, yeah, I write. He said, well, write some songs and come find me, and we gonna work with it. So since then, Too Much Trouble was one of the first songs I was on, and I actually got a chance to become a Fifth Ward Boy, and we put out 6 projects, and man, that rap life thing was amazing. You know what I'm saying? But I would have never known Dr. Clemmie for working with her husband, my boy Tyrone, DJ Ty, right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm point blank, Darryl Scott. I know we was on your wall. We signed the autograph. It was one of the ones that came through there, and I'm ready to work with you. Appreciate you everything you did. and I at the beginning of the year, January, I seen the trail ride thing was doing pretty good. So I got 5 trail ride songs that I'm working with right now. And I'm kind of branching over into the movies. My first movie will be Sorry Not Sorry, and I appreciate y'all coming out. I'll be performing one of my trail ride songs. And hey, God bless y'all, y'all look good.
You probably heard him saying, or somebody else saying that you didn't get a chance to come when you was able to talk. Can you recall the year that you started?
I dropped my first record in '92 on Big Time Records. Let me run this back.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I know what we was doing. I was signed to Big Time Records. Rest in peace to Russell Washington. Rest in peace to Robert Gilliman.
Yes.
Just went to his memorial this morning. He passed away. But we've been putting it down since '92, man. I was on the same label as UGK. Me and UGK started out on Big Time Records. DJ Screw was on Big Time Records. PSK 13, Reckless Claim, 20 to Life. You know, we moved some pieces around the board around here. You feel me? So rest in peace to Russell Washington and Big Time Records, one of the strongest independent labels out here in H-Town. But we don't get our credit for a lot of work we put in, as a lot of y'all know that. Y'all probably experienced it yourself. I got the #1 DJ Screw song on Spotify. My mind went blank. You know, so nigga definitely been represented. Shout out to K-RINO, South Park Coalition. We got a new record coming out called The Ties That Bind Us. It'll be out next month. And y'all check it out, man. Appreciate you, Scott.
K-RINO, come on up here, brother. Come on up this way. Make your way to the stage. Now, my brother KANO, do you recall the year that you started?
1994. I really got into it, you know. Like I said, I was working with the Rootless Juveniles, Doghouse Posse, BNX, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up under UNLV. Then, you know, of course, through the years, I started producing my own records in 1997. And since 1997, I done put out at least over 30-something albums.
See, now that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. They don't realize how strong you are, how many people you affiliated with, how many hits, and how many things that you touched in the industry. And that's why I wanted to speak a little bit more. And just like it is, I'm saying, I know a couple of y'all got some more things that really need to be said, because y'all said a little bit, but now I'm giving you a little time to sit back and think about some other things that you didn't cover. Even I had some things I didn't cover that we didn't say. Well, go ahead.
Definitely. Like I said, a lot of records, let's see. The South Boys record with Del Trap Records, with X-KANO with No Limit Records. You know, I work with a lot of artists, Currency, you know, some of your great artists, Mr. Marcello, Full Blooded. You know, I mentioned Josephine Johnny, I produced all the Johnny records. You know, Hot Boy Ronald, his first and second album. I had a record with Cupid, Hot Boy Ronald, and Chopper. You know, some of them records. And then you go, you know, H-Town. You know, I did records, B Youngster, Lil O, got a record, you know, that's out. Of course, Beat Bun Being Zero, got a record that's out. And I got some classics coming too. I got one with me, Big Mo, Big Pokey, and Trey the True, you know. So I just started collaborating like the rest of the artists, you know, just putting in work and producing for a lot of artists. I also was on Epic Records in 2000. Got a chance to place in the movie Motion Picture Barbershop, where I sold over 7 million records on there, and I made history in 2018 with that. You know, I came to Houston, I had a group called the Black Boys Clique. Me and Billy Cook had the first double disc that came out. Shout out to Billy Cook right there. Okay. You know, so, I mean, and me and Billy, we just did a lot of records, man. There's over 1,000 records out there, for sure, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. And to the men that really don't need no introduction, This is the man, when we leave first, to break open rap and get it really started and recognized and still going strong and will still wreck the mic on a lot of these guys out here right now. I'm introducing my brother, K-RINO. Come on with me.
Hey, y'all make some noise. Ain't gonna be long, just wanna be strong. South Park Coalition, along with my brother Point Blank. We started the South Park Coalition back in 1987, and we was blessed to celebrate our 35th year anniversary last year. So, personally myself, I started writing in 1983, and have been blessed to put out over 50 projects in the last 40 plus years. So, you know, we thank God for that, because anybody that's an artist in the city of Houston, y'all understand that our theme was the independent ground. The major labels wouldn't messing with us on the East Coast and the West Coast, so we had to really get it from the ground up and establish our own labels. That's why you hear about the Rapper Lots, the Big Time Records, the Beatbox Records, the Swisher House, and all the way down Rec Shop, because we did it by necessity. And being rejected by those big labels put us in a position where we had to do it on our own, even though we didn't want to do that intentionally. But it turned out to be the biggest blessing that we could have, because now we learned the business on our own. Now we figured out how to take care of our distribution and publishing and all those things that we never would have known had we let the label handle. So we just thankful to still be independent, still do what we do, and have legends like Darryl Scott, who are still in our midst. And remember great legends like the OG Wicked Cricket, who laid the foundation in this city here. Y'all clap it up for Wicked. And shout out to the Cake Lady for putting this thing together, because it's a beautiful
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
The photographer had to chase him around with his little black book to take all his pictures everywhere. He didn't go nowhere without his little black book. That was his thing. Let's get over here to some Fifth Ward. Damn, come on, speak.
Yeah, so it was 2000. No.
Think about it. Come on, we got time.
No, I'm just joking around. No, it was 1992.
There you go. Solid.
And then I wound up trying to match the money with the looks, and I wound up going to jail in 92, right? So I was telling people in jail that I was one of the Fifth Ward boys, and they thought I was lying, right? So I'm like, wait till one song come on. We had this little speaker on the wall, and Thanks for the Blessing came on, the Bush was on. And the only way they believed me that because I knew the words to the song. So I'm rapping the song, they're like, what's doing on the song? Oh yeah, hey, this one of the Fifth Ward boys. I'm like, we wasn't even group yet. So I'm sitting in jail for a whole year. And the 93 was the first project came out, and I was still incarcerated in the county. And I wound up beating my case, and I wound up coming out. In 93 when the first album came out, Ghetto Dope, right? And I went on the road with E-Rock and 007, and I had no clue to what was going on. I just knew how to rap. So they performing, I'm like, well, that was pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, so then after that album came out, the first album, the next one in 94 was Gangsta Funk, and I
remember that one.
That's when I had a couple of songs on there, because it was the EP, it wasn't a full album, so I was able to participate on a couple of songs on there. And then after that, it was a done.
There you go, put you in the mix.
Yeah, it was a done deal. So 98, 94, 95 was Gangsta. When we did Ghetto Dope, then we did Gangsta Funk. With Gangsta Funk and Ghetto Dope, then we did Usual Suspects. And we got six, like I said, we got 6 projects. But to not know that we was ever going coming out of Houston, the opportunity to rap like I thought I was never gonna be all over the world. As far as the artists and stuff.
Put you on that platform that you need to excel. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So 93 was the first project, Ghetto Dope, and from there it you know, it was history.
It's a good run, good run. One last thing.
Talk to me.
Tell us what the next little thing that you're doing on this trail ride thing that you're doing, because that is a way, that's a good, strong way to get in at this time right now. So can you tell us maybe your first song, whatever it is, that you're going to drop in soon?
So my first song was Tune Up. I'm performing tonight,
Okay.
and we're actually getting ready to shoot a video to it. And I got another song that I'm about to shoot a video to it with a guy. It's actually it's called Way Chicken Way, and it's done with a few people out of Mississippi, out of Louisiana. It was just going around with different people from where they at. And Tune Up it was my first trail ride song. So like I said, I'll be performing out tonight. The numbers is doing pretty good on all platforms they did. And the song is out. The song is out, Tune Up is out right now. So if you can go on your Apple phone right now and hit this up, New Life, NUELIV. And shout out to everybody. I want to say this here for Scott. The whole reason we're here is for the reunion of One Day You Hit, Next Day You Gone.
Come on, man.
So that's what we're here for. To shout out to Billy Cook too, and everybody else, but we can say their names. But I love all you guys, man. Hey, appreciate y'all participating with the music y'all did. Y'all inspired me too to keep going. Everything I say. Yeah.
Salute. Pass it on. Okay. Now, you should be so well known when it comes down to every funeral, every death, everything that happens. Your song and your voice comes across every time some young person passes, man, I promise you. And your name should be, highlighted in major, mega cities all over the world, bro, because it comes to mind every single time. Like I said, it's not a time we don't hear your song, bro. Just like that one day you hear, the next day you're gone as well. So tell us a little bit more about you, and tell us, man, you gotta tell us about Third Ward too. Third Ward and
my grandmother was the first dark-skinned Miss Jack Yates.
Okay.
Yeah, back in 1940. So I got roots. I got really deep roots in Texas, in Houston. And my family came from the 3rd and the 5th Ward. And I know, this is what I'm gonna say about, so there used to be a club called the North Side. I think you might have been there. And that was the first actual concert I ever did singing Gangsta was the North. You remember that? And it's called the North Side. And a lot of people don't know that's the first person that said, DRS, we want you to come, because, and you know how we're from California, but California wouldn't break the song. It was Houston, Texas, the box.
Yes, sir.
That broke the song.
No. Let's get that straight. I put it on my mixtape first. They got with me to find out who the hell is that.
Yes. Okay, so we put it, so let's give it, so I owe you a debt of gratitude because without him doing that, Houston, Texas wouldn't have heard the song. And when Texas heard the song, you know how they was talking about, oh, you're gonna break your song in New York and California. And this is when, and no offense, but with you guys, Ghetto Boys and with Fifth Ward Boys, what y'all don't understand is that when I got to break Gangsta out of Houston, that's when all the record companies, so you remember another record companies come to see y'all?
Yes, sir.
But what happened is when y'all broke Gangsta, that's what I'm here. When y'all broke Gangsta for me, that's when the record companies started saying, oh my God, there's this Southern, because they thought we was from Houston, and we wasn't. And then when they found out we was from California, they was like, oh, we thought these brothers were from Houston. But one thing I'm gonna say is, it's a blessing and it's a curse sometimes, because it's a blessing that my song came out with 33 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and I'm only 25, so. My song came out 30, but the thing is that in doing so, it's giving me longevity to be able to sing all over the world. Once it broke here, it went #1 in this country. It went to Australia, #1. It went to New Zealand, #1. It went to Japan, #1. It went to Ireland to be #1. And I always have, the reason why I always give, and Master C would say, I always give Houston your props, because I always think, without it breaking here, people would never know me, all over the world to hear my song. And basically, it came out of here, it came out from the box, came from your mixtape, you know what I'm saying? Came from me being at the North Side. And you know what I want to say, and it inspired a lot of people. And you guys remember George Floyd, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna tell you this little story. There was this young group that came up to us and they said, hey, we want to hear, and this is a trip. I realized that was George Floyd's group that came to me at the north side. And they sang for us, and there was a good group, but we, at the time, we was under Capitol Records. And Capitol Records was like, they really wanted more of like, you know, like you guys. They want something like that instead. But it's just a trip. I just look at how music, it just inspires people and it touches people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I did the song, I never thought the song would be that big. I ain't gonna lie, when I first did the song, I figured it would be in the hoods, people would hear it in the hoods, it would be cool. But I didn't realize that death man covers everybody. It don't matter what color, race, creed, it don't matter who you are. And I realized that one day in Virginia, I was in a mall, and this old white woman came up to us. We was dressed in the Pendletons and all that, and the white woman came up to us, and at first I thought, oh Lord, here she go. She don't say something about what, you know, we sad and we're doing that. And the lady came and she just said, I want to say thank you. And I was like, thank you. I said, you know who we are? And she says, you're in the group DRS. You sang this song called Gangsta Man. And we kind of looked in amazement, and she said, well, my grandson is half black, and he was involved in some gangs, and he died. And he said, the whole white side of the family just was like, oh, we knew this. She said, but when I heard Gangsta Man, to me, I felt like you were singing to him, and you were honoring him. And it gave her this thing of, that was an honor to her grandson. And when I heard that, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I tripped out because I realized that death is not just in our community, it's in their community, it's an Asian community, and you're right, almost my song is at every, and it's not bragging, but because it's sad and it's a bad thing, but every single funeral home in America carries my song. And when you pass away, you can have your family play that song. And it just, you know, I mean, I'm glad it's still out there, giving longevity, but if you guys listen to the song, what the song is about, I get sad because I wish that we didn't have to go through that after all these years.
I want to give a big shout out and clap for everybody on the panel. Can we do that? All right, we got here with K-RINO, Point Blank, K-RINO. And what y'all know about this man right here? This is DARRYL Scott. Let me tell y'all a little bit something about DARRYL Scott. DARRYL Scott is the man who did everything in the skating ring. Y'all know the skating ring? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is the guy who started everything in the skating ring, y'all. This is a legend standing in front of you guys. You've got to know your people. You've got to know your history. It's very, very important that you know your history, especially if you're from the H. You know what I mean? This is the guy who started it. So, screwed it, but he slowed it down. This is the first to ever do it, guys. This guy standing in front of you, DARRYL Scott. Let's give a shout out. I know y'all know this guy right here. This is the wizard. You got to know your history in H-Town. This young man right here, not only do he rap, but he's an awesome producer. That's KANO. And I know y'all know about the blank. He just got to tell y'all and educating y'all. You know what I'm saying? From the past to the present, he's still making it happen. That's point blank. Now, I ain't a fan of cursing all the time, but I know y'all know about pussy, weed, and alcohol. All right, so that's the Fillmore boys right here. Now, I said that once, but my mother not here, so I got away with it. And man, LAMAR LUBIN, man, king of R&B, man. You gotta give a shout out to this guy. So he's still going strong. A lot of people know that Southern Soul is the new thing. It ain't been the new thing. It's been around for years, but it's resurfaced. And when you're a great artist, you can readapt. You can reinvent yourself. It takes a person, a strong leader, someone who knows what they're doing in their craft, someone who's gifted, someone who's talented, someone who knows the Lord, to be able to hear the vision when he calls. And that would be Lamar Lubin. So he has reinvented himself. So let's